Alright, welcome back everyone. For today's episode we are going to go over hair grabs. Now because I chose not to have any hair, I'm going to, in this case, be the attacker, and we'll actually be attacking this person because they have nice hair. So unless you want to shave your heads and just completely avoid having to worry about hair grabs in the first place, these are a couple of the common hair grabs and ways to defend it. So understand that when someone is grabbing your hair, although it may not seem that threatening because I'm merely just holding on to the hair, it could turn into something very dangerous very quickly. And by that I mean I can be holding on and very quickly pull you to the ground and start dragging you. I can use this and kind of pull you down to the side and start striking you if I need to. So understand that it's not simply just a hair grab, but because I am controlling the head, I am in turn controlling the body. So when it comes to hair grabs, you have to understand the biggest part is understanding to control the grip itself. Don't try and just rip the hand off. Don't try and strike the hand away. Unless you feel comfortable enough to where you are going to pull your own hair out or try and muscle against me, understand that your best bet is going to be to control the hand in the first place so you don't have to worry about the potential whiplash effects or being dragged to the ground. So when someone grabs you from the front with a single hand hair grab, I don't care which hand you use as long as you grab the top of the palm and again get a nice tight grip and keep your elbow tucked. If this elbow stays off to the side, notice that I'm very free to move the head. Once you tuck it down, it becomes a lot more difficult for me to control the body. Now at the same time, even though I'm doing this, notice how the whole body moves with it rather than if she's not controlling my wrist, it's just the head that's moving. So again, this puts her at a bigger risk if she doesn't control the hand, whereas this case, now it's just her body that's moving. So once you get the strike on here, especially because I have another hand free, you have no other option in this case but to follow up with a strike to the face immediately, whether you're doing a palm strike, an open hand to the side, strike to the throat, whatever the case is, but do the damage you need to do so that this isn't a threat and that whatever this hand is going to be isn't also going to be a threat. Because understand, someone's not merely just going to hold on to your hair. They're coming next to you with a punch, a weapon, they're dragging you down to the ground, so this isn't simply just a hair grab. This is a setup for a lot more of a dangerous position. So grab, do the strikes that you need to, understand that you can throw in the kick still, you can get the damage on the waist, or below the waist, you can distract the person. Once you start doing enough strikes, you should feel that this hand is starting to loosen up. And if that's the case, let go, let me pull my hand back and you disengage. Otherwise, as you're holding on and you're throwing in your strikes at the same time, after you've landed one or two hits, start pulling this hand off. Realistically, at this point, especially because I've already now felt some pain, the grip should have loosened a little bit, so you may still lose some hair, but you're not going to lose as much compared to if you just ripped it off out of the gate. Do some of the damage, allow that hand to loosen a little bit. When you feel that the grip's starting to come off or that you've landed enough strikes, start pulling this hand off. However, don't pull this hand off just by itself. You pull this off while you're still doing your strikes, your distractions, get that hand free, and then once again, you disengage. Don't try and take this a step farther than it needs to be. So that's a single hand wrist grab from the front. Other option sometimes is a double hand hair grab from the front. Now this is another one of those gifts because again, both my hands are going to be occupied. I'm grabbing the person with both hands. Understand that I can still rip you down, I can still move you around, and if I do want to engage in anything past this, I'm going to have to release one hand to strike you. But simply just because I don't have my hands occupied doesn't mean that you still can't control this. Now, obviously you can't grab just one palm, so instead you're going to bring your hand across both hands, and again, trap it nice, keep that elbow tight. This way again, I'm not just controlling your head, it's now the body, so your neck is protected. From this one, I don't recommend, just like we did with the two-hand choke, don't always try and get around to the outside with your strikes, with your hands. Instead, come right up through the middle. Because again, I can't stop that. So she can come right up on the middle, do the strikes, throw a couple, throw some kicks, whatever the case is, but you start doing enough damage so that as these hands release, again, pull them off, throw another strike if you need to, and disengage. And again, you're only doing enough damage that you need to do to get those grips free. So one more time, I grab, palm comes across both, you strike up the middle, do the damage you need to do, pull those hands off, and you break free. So that is a single hand from the front and a two-hand grab from the front. Now, the more dangerous one, and I feel the one that's a bit more common, especially if it comes to any sort of abduction or a sexual assault or any of those cases, is a hair grab from behind. Now, once again, There is still the threat of me pulling you to the ground. There is a threat of me pushing you, pulling you somewhere, taking out a weapon, striking you from behind. But again, this is a threat that has to be handled with. The difference is now I'm behind you. So you don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what I have available. So you have to take this a bit more seriously and do a little bit more damage to ensure your safety. So when you're doing this one, I still want you to grab that wrist. Again, you're doing this to protect your neck. So as she grabs her wrist and tightens, you can't necessarily just turn around because I can still pull, and if she tries to turn around, I'm just going to try and do my best to stay behind her. It makes it a little bit more difficult. So your best option is when you're doing this, is it's going to be kind of two motions. The first one is you're bending over and shooting your hips back. At the same time that you're doing this, I want you to really launch yourself backwards into your attacker. So as she drops, she's going to literally drive her hips back. That's going to knock me off balance a little bit. From here, whether or not you land the strike is indifferent, but I want you to throw a couple of these irregardless. You're going to start throwing elbows. Now, as she throws these elbows, she's going to slowly start turning into me. At this point, you are clear to let go of this hand and start striking my face with both hands as you turn around. But don't let go of that until you're already starting to turn around on your person. If you turn too soon and you haven't landed any strikes, you're going to end up right back where we started. Now, that hip thrust is not something that puts any pain on me, any damage on me. It doesn't impact me in any sense like that. What it does do is it distracts me and it knocks me off balance. That gives her the window to then follow up with her strikes that are meant to do the damage. So I grab, she gets a counter, bumps back, knocks me off balance, starts throwing strikes. As she turns, she's throwing more strikes, and again, she disengages. I've tried a few other different techniques when it comes to hair grabs from behind. This is the one that I find works the best. If it doesn't work for you, or if you're struggling to do this one, please reach out and we'll work on something that can work for you. One more time with this one though. She gets a nice tight grip, bump into your person, keep striking. If we rewind it a little bit, if you have to throw in a couple bumps a little bit to kind of really get this person off and you have to keep bumping to keep me off balance, go ahead. You can continue to throw elbows. Also though, don't ignore the fact that you can do stomps, you can do back kicks, you can still do the damage there that you need to do that allows you to start turning into the person. Now, I don't recommend ever turning away from your attacker. Never turn to the outside of this case because all I'm going to do is follow you. Instead, always make sure you're turning towards the inside because at this point, I'm going to have to let go. You're able to get the strikes in. You're nice and close to do the damage you need to do, and that allows you to get away safely without putting the potential of me getting to your back at risk. Because again, if I got to your back, that's a lot worse position considering that's where we started. So if you can get out of this position to begin with, there's no reason to go right back into it. So again, those are the hair grabs. You have the two options from the front, the one option from the back. Again, if any of these aren't working for you or if you have any questions regarding this hair grab, I know this is a bit more of a specific technique, please let me know and we'll get back to you, all right? Check you all next time. Thank you.